6 minutes past 10 on this Saturday morning, and I'm pleased to have in the studio a couple of guests, Lisa and Rosie from the House of Bread. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning. Just turn you up a little bit there. There we go. Welcome aboard. Now then, the House of Bread, as I understand it, and you're going to correct me if I'm wrong in that, it is a charity.
Yeah. It's going to be a charity in September.
Yeah. So you are an organisation that helps and supports people who've got a little bit of economic hardship, and you help and support them through food, through providing meals and food items. Tell me more.
In part, that's what we do.
Okay.
But in truth, a lot of what we do is for anybody that's vulnerable in the community. And we offer friendship, acceptance, along with a meal, cup of tea, cup of coffee, and just basically a place where they can go, feel safe, feel loved, really. Because I think in today's climate, we all feel a bit...
It's a hard world,
sort of
isn't
marginalised. It is, yeah. And we have a laugh. We have...
Quite right.
Something nice to eat. And Lisa makes me a cup of tea.
Excellent.
I have my uses, Barry.
Yes, she does.
So when was your organisation set up? Tell us a little bit about the history of it.
Right. It was started by a young guy, he was young then, called Matt Turner, who's training to be a minister at the Beacon International Centre. And he came to Stafford to do his training about 3-4 years ago. He noticed there were a lot of people in and around Stafford who needed caring for, either through drug abuse, addiction, being socially isolated, being vulnerable, and It really got to him. It really got to his heart, and he wanted to do something to make a difference to those people.
So he set that organisation up.
Yeah,
he did.
And you're at the moment, I understand you're in Trinity Church. Is that right?
We are. We're very grateful to Trinity. They put up with us every week. It is a challenge because the people that we meet are lovely underneath, but sometimes they can be challenging. We're there every Wednesday between 6 and 10 p.m.
Yeah.
And people who have that need can just turn up?
They can just turn up. If you have a need, we want to see you.
And have you found... first of all, how long have you both been involved with this organisation?
I started towards the end of November last year.
And I started February this year.
So in that relatively short time, have you found an increase in the amount of people that use your service?
Without doubt. I mean, the service the week before last, we had 20 new people that had never accessed our service before just turn up.
On top of the
existing... of the sort of 80 to 90 people we normally get. And, I think one of the great things about House of Bread is 10 people turn up. That's great. 100 people turn up, then we accommodate them, we have a laugh, and it's just that wonderful atmosphere of, and obviously then we can signpost if anybody needs anything, we can signpost other organisations that they can get in touch with, just be a listening ear.
And do you find that a lot of people that turn up are people already existing in services, social services, mental health services, that kind of thing?
Absolutely. A lot of our friends, as we call them, do have long-term issues with drugs, alcohol, mental health issues, and perhaps they've got a bit jaded with the system. They felt a bit judged, a bit... perhaps through no fault of the agencies, but just because they've been passed around, and what we're there basically for is to say, well, that doesn't matter to us at all. New start today, and we can be here and support you through whatever. And quite often we then are able to re-engage them with other services such as ADSIS, social services. And it's really quite an amazing thing to see somebody that's been so fed up with the system actually starting to re-engage.
Excellent. And do you find as well that people who maybe have families, have jobs but are on low income, do they use your services a lot as well?
We do. I mean, the range of people who come to us on a Wednesday night are from young teenagers, I mean, I'm talking sort of 16, 17, 18.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. Right. Who are, in supported accommodation, to people with families, to people who are retired, to people who've never had a job before.
People who were working,
yep.
but they are on low income,
yep.
they're struggling,
Yep.
they just have got to the end of their tether because
yep.
they're trying to do everything right, but
sure.
they just need that little bit extra, and we can provide that, which is a real joy for us.
You also, am I right in saying you also, when people finish using your service on the night time, having had a meal, do they go away with some tin food,
They do.
dried food, that kind of thing as well?
But they also go away with our numbers. And
right.
The tip of the iceberg is Wednesday night. I over the next week am meeting up with 4 or 5 people who need a bit more support. So that can be just from meeting for a cup of tea to chat over issues, to meeting to get more food, or somebody to go through the benefits with them, just so that as an advocate almost, just to sit alongside them while they talk to people if they're feeling a bit nervous. So yeah, Wednesday night is great, but that's really where we find out what people need, and we spend the rest of the week then coming alongside people on a one-to-one basis.
Isn't it sad of today's economic situation that we have your service is great, that we have the need of your service in there? Do you think that's a sad reflection of how society is today?
It is a sad reflection, but the positive is that there are a lot of people out there who care about others. Stafford is a very caring community.
Yes, very much so.
And just by volunteering for maybe an hour a month or whatever, you can make such a vast difference to somebody's life, and that I'd rather concentrate on the positive than concentrate on the negative.
Yes.
I do know though that the guy Will Morris, who is our sort of leader, as it were, he says every week he hopes and prays that nobody turns up.
Yes,
and we all do.
Yes, of course.
But the reality is more and more people are turning up, and we are completely funded by donations.
Right.
And the thing that really struck me when I first got there was how generous people are. We never run out of food.
No.
We've got a clothes bank that is absolutely amazing, and I know guys love their clothes, but particularly for some of our young women who come along, we sort of put our arm around them and take them around the clothes, and it's fantastic. They get some nice clothes to wear, and it builds their self-confidence. There's a hairdresser there.
Right.
She comes and cuts their hairs, and the smiles on not just the ladies' faces, the guys, they love it too.
They do.
We've got somebody who helps people with their CVs and getting jobs, and we've actually had 3 people who, because of the CV service, have managed to get some form of work from that already.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well done.
And that's all. These people are all donating their time for free.
We're all volunteers.
We all are.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
right.
One of the things I've realised is I have another job as a nurse in Birmingham, but when I come to House and Bread, that's really the time where I feel like I'm doing some good, doing something really positive. So
where do your food donations come from? Obviously, members of the public. Am I right in saying that one of the local supermarkets helps you as well?
Two of the local supermarkets. Yeah, we need to say a big thank you to Asda and Sainsbury's. Other supermarkets are available.
That's my line.
Yeah, but they haven't quite got on board with us yet.
And please do contact us.
And please do contact us. Yeah. Yeah, Sainsbury's, there's a food collection point in there. There is a food collection point in Asda, and we will also be in Asda the last Friday of every month doing a food collection for House of Bread. And the last one we did, it was a long day. It was 11 hours. It blew us away. We got about 4 weeks worth of food.
Wow, excellent.
And collected some money, because we didn't go out with the intention of collecting money, but people were giving us donations as well. There are food collection points dotted all over Stafford in schools, churches. If anybody would like to set up a food collection point, then please, if I can give out the website address and Will's mobile number, his mobile is going to go frantic now, then please get in touch with us. We will do all the hard work. We will just turn up and get you going.
Excellent. And do you foresee, you do this 1 day a week at the moment, do you foresee this service expanding to another day a week potentially?
We want it to.
It has to, really.
It has to. We are desperate for a building. Once we get a building where we can provide people with a meal We will run it as many hours as we can get volunteers. We've got 160 volunteers at the moment, so we're not going to struggle. If somebody would give us a building, we will be there. We will meet the need for as long as we have to.
Because people have been great with us.
Yeah, they have.
You know, but there is a limit, and we want to expand what we can offer. You know, we want to be able to meet. I meet with sort of a group of girls once a week, and we have to go to another venue because Trinity can't accommodate us in the afternoons. And so it's all a bit higgledy-piggledy, and we need to just bring it all together so everybody knows where to go whenever they need something, even if it's just a friend.
Excellent.
And we want to build on social enterprise as well, to actually start funding House of Bread. We don't want to continually rely on people's goodwill and donations. We work with Stafford College, and their students are coming to us who are on social care courses for placements. We want to be able to be providers of cooking skills courses, social skill courses. You know, the world is our oyster, and we will do it.
And I would imagine as well, obviously, you say you're all volunteers.
Yes.
You obviously have to have training relevant to the services, or have a background relevant to the services that you're provided.
We will provide some excellent training, and we're in touch with other agencies that provide excellent training. And the great thing is we have our training days, but they're a real laugh as well. So because I think that's the thing about House of Bread. It sounds all very worthy and very serious, but in actual fact, I come away with my sides aching because we've been laughing so much. And I'm not just talking about the volunteers, I'm talking about my friends who I meet every week. This week I spent most of it cuddling the most beautiful little baby, who one of our younger people, she'd had a little baby, and she came in and she said, oh, you know, I'd been dying for a cuddle, to be honest. And so Matt, the guy who set it all up, was getting a little nervous. I think he thought I was going to take the baby home with me.
We did watch you carefully.
Yeah, they did watch me carefully. But it's that kind of thing, and they see us in the street, whereas normally they wouldn't sort of have spoken to us. You know, we're perhaps there in our Sunday best or whatever. But now I get hugs as I walk through the town of people, and I just feel very loved by House of Bread, and by all of the people that come there, and that's pretty amazing, really, when you think about it.
Out of all the people that use your service, what percentage would you say, or how many would you say are actually homeless or living on the streets of our area?
It's actually a small percentage.
Right.
Fortunately,
Good.
I would say it's perhaps between 1% and 2% of our service users.
Right.
Yeah. We've had a great experience recently where we've had the privilege to work with a gentleman who many people will have seen out and around town, living homeless.
Right.
And we never judged him. We loved him, really, supported him, and he's got such an amazing sense of humour. He made us all laugh, and he did brighten our day. And recently we've been able to support him through recovery.
Excellent.
And he's now got a place of his own, and he's just starting to volunteer with us. So
Excellent.
He's gone from a chronic alcohol misuse over a period of 20 years to now being in his own place, volunteering with us, part of our walking group, and just when he meets people that knew him before, nobody recognises him.
That's excellent.
So that is just, I mean, and like I say, he's now volunteering with us, and still got an amazing sense of humour.
Well, isn't that an excellent reflection on him as an individual, and also on yourselves as a service provider?
It's that combination.
Yeah.
You know, it's where you get people who, because we don't want anything from them, and they're so used to people wanting something from them. All we want to do is just sort of come alongside them in any way that they need, or not, as the case may be. And that kind of acceptance is very rare in our society.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
And it actually is quite miraculous to see the changes that has across the board, because that's not just, you know, that's obviously the extreme end of the spectrum. But we have women who come in, you know, they've got children and that they're struggling a bit or whatever, and they too, you know, you see them blossom and flourish, and they may be working, but they haven't got time to find people that they can have a supportive relationship with. And it's just genuinely, we always come out at the end of Wednesday night absolutely exhausted, but with the biggest smiles on our faces. and hopefully our friends do too.
Excellent.
And a lot of teasing goes on, but it's just, seriously, and it's also seen as quite a cool place to be.
Good.
Would you believe, by the young people now? Yes, we're getting very trendy in our old age.
That's your influence, not mine.
Ladies, shall we just take a break from music for a few minutes? I understand that Barry, who usually does the programme with Sean's off today, so I'm standing in for Sean. Barry has been collecting a few requests as well. I understand you've got a couple of requests which are Neil Diamond. One request from Neil Diamond.
We do. That's from Eunice on Ward 7. And she's been in a while.
I believe so, yes.
And we'd like to give her a shout out, wouldn't we?
Yes, we
Say
would.
hi, Eunice.
We're thinking of you.
And she would like Neil Diamond, apparently. She's a massive fan. So am I, Eunice.
Excellent. So we've got 2 tracks for Eunice. We've got Neil Diamond singing You Don't Bring Me Flowers. And after that, we've got Forever in Blue Jeans. And we'll be back with the House of Bread after this. Fantastic. Neil Diamond. 2 tracks there for Neil Diamond. 4. Who was that for?
That was for Eunice on Ward 7.
Excellent request, Eunice. And keep listening to Hospital Radio Stafford. We're here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, live to Stafford and Cannock hospitals. With me at the moment, continuing our Lisa and Rosie from the fantastic House of Bread. So you're looking for new premises then. Have you approached anybody? Has anybody made any offers? And what sort of premises do you need? Obviously a big hallway kind of thing.
Yeah, we have looked into various avenues. Obviously we're in touch with the council, and we have a great guy called Will Morris. Again, give him another shout out because he really loves it. He works extensively with lots of agencies. Basically, we're open to suggestion.
Right.
You know, we'd love the council to give us a place, and it really is needed. But we understand the pressures from government, etc., etc. The kind of place we're looking for is somewhere central in town.
Yes.
We need people to be able to access us whenever they need, without much effort. And we'd like somewhere that we can cook, so it needs to have a kitchen. But we need storage space as well for our donations, for clothes, for food. And we'd also like somewhere that people can sit and have a cup of coffee during the day. So it needs to be somewhere central, that is accessible, but that has the potential to expand should we want to, or see a need to expand further, like giving washing facilities, that kind of thing, washing machines. They're all ideas possible for the future. Basically, we'd just like a home, you know, a home that fits 120 people in.
At the moment in Stafford, based on the experience of talking with your friends who come through the door and use your services, are there any facility services in the daytime at the moment that meet those needs? I'm kind of guessing that the answer would be no on that, based on what you said.
No.
So there's nothing at all where people can go and chat and meet?
There's various things like Mind. They do perhaps twice a week. They do various things.
There's Trinity Cafe, which runs Monday to Friday from 9:30 till 12:30. If people, Trinity are again supporting us massively. If people go and they are short of funds or whatever, if they are known to us, then we can say, we'll pick up the tab if you want to give them something to eat and a hot drink and something like that. But no, I mean,
there's nothing where you can just go along and
with nothing,
and perhaps
and
not with
something.
anything in mind other than you feeling a bit lonely and vulnerable, and find somebody that will talk to you, but that perhaps has skills that can say, well, there's something else going on here. What's going on here? Let's talk a bit more. Let's find out what there is available for you.
And of course, like you say, people who are in that position, they feel quite lonely, feel quite vulnerable. It's a huge step to actually cross the threshold of any organisation and say, I need a little bit of support, I need a little bit of help, I need a bit of guidance with the issues that I've got. So
it is, because
it's
it
difficult.
always seems bigger in your mind, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, when you've got a problem that you're not sharing with anybody, it seems like the biggest thing in the world.
Sure.
And the reality is, if somebody just sits down in a non-judgmental way, you know, we're not going to judge anybody regardless of their circumstance.
Yeah.
And just sometimes all we do is just listen. And you see the relief on people's faces that they've just found somebody.
If the thing is, if you're not eating properly, you're not sleeping properly. If you're worried about bills, if you're short of money, any other problem that comes along seems like a massive mountain.
Sure.
You know, for somebody to come to us and say, I need help filling in a form, may be a massive challenge to them. It's simple to us because we're housed, we're fed, we sleep okay. You know, we're comfortable.
We're mentally supposedly okay.
Well, I doubt that,
but you know, but we are. We're alert, and we're able to sort of make sense of quite simple procedures, etc.
Yeah.
But like Lisa says, if you've not been sleeping because you're worried, you've not been eating because you've had to give your food to the kids, and all of your mental functions are just a bit dulled and a bit kind of fuzzy.
The thing is, we understand. And the great thing about House of Bread is that I don't think the fellow volunteers will mind me saying that this is that some of us have actually been where our friends are now. And we totally understand how difficult it is just to walk through the door at Trinity Church on a Wednesday night. You know,
and that's the other thing. A lot of our volunteers may look very middle class. I know I'm a prime example. I look perhaps a little middle class, but I actually was homeless at 15.
Right.
So and I've worked through the process. I was fortunate. I got some help, and then decided that one day I would, given the opportunity, give back, and House of Bread achieves that for me. So we don't judge you even if you look middle class. So.
And have you found as well over the past few months, obviously there's been huge changes to the way benefits are paid, are calculated. Obviously that's got to be a huge worry because people are paying some of the council tax and that now.
It's an absolute nightmare. Again, if you're vulnerable, if you're not in a safe place in your life, then you know you've got the extra worry of the bedroom tax. You want to move out, but whoever's housing you can't house you because they haven't got the right accommodation.
And of course, if you want to move out, you've got to pay the removal costs as well, which is huge as well.
Yes, that's something else we could look into as well. Actually,
but it just seems to be getting more complicated rather than being simplified.
You have to apply online. I mean,
yes.
if you can't afford to feed yourself, you're not going to have internet and Wi-Fi access, are you?
And I know there is the library that sort of people can go to, but
if you haven't had a wash, haven't had a wash for 2 weeks, 3 weeks because you haven't got the money to buy the soap, then you don't want to be around a great deal of people.
Exactly.
And you've got to have the confidence to get out of your front door.
Yeah.
Which the other service that we provide is we do get people who are too vulnerable to step out of their front door. If we're contacted by them, Will and myself, or Lisa and myself, or any combination of us, will go and visit people at home, find out what they need, because it is a big step to get out of that front door, to come down on a Wednesday night, to go to the library, to go to social services. And House of Bread is all about getting rid of barriers, and that's another thing that we do. So if you've got somebody that you're worried about, if you've got somebody that you haven't seen for a while, you know, call us. There is nobody out there that should be alone and feeling vulnerable, and if we can do something, then that's what we want.
You obviously getting the word out quite a lot about the organisation that you represent, the House of Bread. Do you find that you're having to push your organisation to people who maybe are out on the street, who maybe are more vulnerable? In other words, how do you advertise your organisation?
We don't need to.
Oh, Will does. Will's great. He's very in the public eye. Lots of media, but we find that with our friends, word of mouth.
Yeah.
It gets round. I mean, we have no idea where. The week before last, we had 20 new friends come in. Nobody knew how they'd found out. We asked them, and they would just say, "No, so and so mentioned your name," and we thought we'd come down. And it really is. The publicity is amazing, and we're so grateful for it. But really, it is other people who've come and experienced it and said, "Actually, that's really quite a great place to be," you know. And I wouldn't be anywhere else on a Wednesday night. That's
certainly not.
Excellent. Well, we've got another record now. It's on vinyl. What was the one, Barry? What was
it's called Till.
Till, that was the one. Excellent. Well done, Barry. High pitched voice there.
My goodness, you're looking pretty this morning, Mary.
Yeah, this is going out to Stan. It's his wife's favourite song. It's called Till. We found the instrumental version. And you were talking to Barry earlier this morning, Stan. And
I made the mistake, and basically there were a couple of the guys in there had a good laugh at my expense, which is fine. I don't mind that.
It's the flip flops.
It's the flip flops and the legs on a rainy day.
We didn't like to say,
but it was about the fact that on the whiteboard, because in the hospital everyone's name's written up there, and it said Robert. So I said, "What do you like to be known as?" Robert, Rob, Bob, and Stan said Stan. Because, well, why not?
Why not?
And we all had a bit of a chuckle about it. Now, which is just to say that Stan might need to get the tissues out. He did worry there may be some tears coming with this one.
Oh, so
we're with you.
We're thinking of you, Stan, and this is for you. It's called Till.
It's fantastic. And that was Till for...
That was for Stan. Oh, sorry, that was for Stan. Because it's his wife's favourite. Did you cry, Stan? Because I was almost in tears here. I was close, I can tell you. I was. I was being serious. I'm empathetic.
Yeah, I know. But it was a beautiful song.
It was a beautiful song. Well chosen,
it is.
Stan.
We were trying. There was it was from a film, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
I can't work out what the film is. Maybe he'll give us a call and let us know. 01785 223 456. Let us know. Right, we're going to play some more music. And we've got Coldplay coming up, and this is a special request, I believe.
Yeah, it sort of reminds me of House of Bread, and it's also one of Rosie's favourites, and it's Rosie's birthday today. Happy birthday!
Yes, I am indeed 21.
Yes,
which is a lie I can tell on the radio.
Yes,
which is rather fortunate.
I'm 18. Yeah.
You're like me. You were never any good at maths.
Yes, that's it. I think I was born at 23 or something like that. So
just like me. Well, this is for you.
Thank you.
Oh, fantastic! We like that one.
We do.
Why do we like that one?
Oh,
because it's lovely.
Because I can sing along and put my lighter in the air,
and because it's lovely.
Yeah. Well, that's what we try. We try and fix people.
Well, we fix each other.
And we try and fix ourselves.
Yeah. You know what? It's all about just trying to give each other a bit of a helping hand, isn't it?
Excellent. We'll talk a little bit more about the House of Bread in a wee while. In the meantime, I'm going to get a little bit more music in because we've got a bit of innuendo.
Well, that's very appropriate this morning. Missus.
Don't mention wine tasting.
Oh, please don't. You really wouldn't want to know, folks. Seriously.
Why are we playing innuendo?
Because I was driving to pick Rosie up this morning, as I do, because I'm Rosie's chauffeur, and I was listening to the words, and I just thought, yeah, that reminds me of House of Bread.
Yeah.
Excellent. Let's play it. Let's have a listen to the wonderful Queen and Innuendo on Hospital Radio. One more request to go, which we will have very shortly. In the meantime, it's 5 minutes to the top of the hour, so we're going to wrap up with our House of Bread interviewees, Lisa and Rosie. That's gone by so quick.
I bet you're glad the
it's
hour
gone
is
by
coming
so
to an
quick. We were talking off air just about the numbers of people, and I know we touched on that earlier on at the beginning of our chat, and that just remind us when you guys first started how many people you had coming through the door and how quickly it's just shot up.
Back in 2010, on the 13th of October, there were 6 people who were fed. When I joined House of Bread last year, at the end of November, there were about 30 people.
And a couple of weeks ago, we had 110 people.
Wow.
And we also had people that came and didn't eat. They just wanted to come and be in the environment.
Right.
Yeah. Plus, as well as a Wednesday night, if people are in need, and we'll give out the phone number and the web address where you can get hold of us. If people are in need outside of a Wednesday, all they have to do is phone this mobile number. It's Will's mobile number, and we can get a food bag to them, and we do that for about 50 people a week as
wow,
well.
Really?
And
Yeah.
can I just say that we're getting increasing numbers of vulnerable women. Now,
Right.
Lisa and I are both women of a certain age, as it were, who've had life experience. So you don't have to speak to a fella if you're feeling uncomfortable with that. You know, we're happy to sort of meet with you either sort of individually or together, whichever you feel most comfortable with. So basically, we have people that we have guys, women, sort of with varying levels of expertise. So please don't be put off by the fact that you may see sort of guys in the press or whatever. There are loads of caring, loving women involved in our organisation too, and we are aware that there are a number of more vulnerable women and younger women that may be a little bit put off, but don't be, because seriously, we understand where you've been.
I would love to have another hour chatting, and I think at some time you've got to come back and
We'd
tell
love
us
to.
in
That
a
would be
few
great.
months' time
We'd
how
love
things
to.
are going. And I said off air, I'll say it on air, one of the Wednesdays I will pop down and say hello.
Brilliant.
That would be
And,
fantastic.
it'd be,
I'll
yeah,
oh,
Sally
yeah,
will come.
two
Yeah.
new recruits.
Two new
Yeah.
recruits
We'll-
already
we'll,
this
we'll come and
morning.
have a look, see
Flip-flops
what you're doing.
are optional.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have, Barry's just pointed out, we've got 3 requests that we haven't got time for this hour, but Tony will take up next hour. So Margaret, Irene and the staff on Ward 7, stand by for yours. That's coming up on the next hour. Before we go, tell us how people can get in touch with you, either to use your services or to volunteer.
Right, to volunteer or donate or just come and join us on a Wednesday night if you want a meal. We're at Trinity Church, 6 p.m. till 10 p.m. That's the church opposite Wilkinson's in town. You
Or
can
you
go
can
to
go
our
to the website,
site, which is
www.hobstafford.co.uk.
or if you are in need and we can help you, you can ring 07720 850 720.
And we're also on Facebook.
Excellent. And in case anybody listening in Stafford or Cannock didn't get those details, just give the studio a ring and we'll pass those details on to you. Time is of the essence. We're going to get a quick Beatles track for
Angela on Ward 7.
And Angela, I'm going to have to straddle this on the news. I know Tony will play another Beatles track for you the other side of the news. So taking us up to the news at 11, here's a quick blast of the Beatles from me, Andy, from Barry and from Lisa and from Rosie at the House of Red. Thank you all.
Thank you for having
Bye,
us.
folks. Have a great day.
You're very welcome. From me for the moment, bye-bye.